The notification hit Amara's phone while she was still arguing with the security guard. "You can't just walk in?" Her phone vibrated. Once. Then again. She glanced down without thinking. Alert. $42,000 withdrawn. Her breath vanished. "What?" she whispered. Another vibration followed immediately. Alert. $1,800 withdrawn. Her hands began to shake so badly the phone nearly slipped. "That's not possible," she muttered, pushing past the guard and breaking into a run through the bank doors. The tellers turned at the sound of her footsteps. "My account," she said at the counter, voice breaking. "Someone is stealing my money, right now." The teller typed, stopped, looked up. All available funds were withdrawn this morning. Amara let out a dry laugh. "Then you typed the wrong account." The teller turned the screen. Every withdrawal stared back at her. Clean, legal, final. Her ears rang. "Who approved this?" The teller hesitated, then said softly, "Your co-signatory, Mr. Kofi Mensah." Amara staggered back. "My father?" she whispered. The floor felt too far beneath her feet. She walked out without knowing how. Outside, she dialed her father. It rang, and rang. Then his voice came on, calm. "I'll call you back." She called again. Voicemail. She called her brother. The call connected instantly. Loud music, cheers, glasses clinking. "Amara!" Kojo's voice boomed. "You should be here. Today is huge." Her throat locked. "What did you do with my money?" There was a pause. Then Kojo laughed. "So you saw it?" "Saw what?" she asked, even though she already knew. "The investment. Relax. It's not gone. It's working." "For who?" "For me," he said easily. The line went dead. Amara stood on the sidewalk as traffic rushed past. Her savings, 10 years of discipline, vanished in seconds. She opened social media with trembling fingers. The first post that loaded was a video. A massive banner. Grand opening, Mensa Auto Group. Kojo stood under it in a sharp black suit, grinning into the cameras, and beside him stood their father, smiling like this was the proudest day of his life. Amara felt something inside her split open. She had started saving when she was 16. Nobody taught her how. Nobody helped her. She learned from necessity. While Kojo failed his first business, she took on extra shifts. While Kojo borrowed money and vanished for weeks, she skipped meals to save. While Kojo lived loudly, she lived carefully. Every dollar had a purpose. That money was for her exit, for the life she had been planning in silence. And now, it was gone. By nightfall, Amara stood outside the warehouse from the video. Music spilled into the parking lot. People laughed. Cameras flashed. She walked in slowly. Kojo was shaking hands like a king. Investors surrounded him. Their father stood beside him with his chest pushed forward. "Amara," an aunt squealed, "why are you standing there? Come and celebrate your brother." Amara didn't respond. She walked straight to her father. "Where is my money?" Kofi's smile froze. "Not here. Answer me." Kojo stepped in with a grin. "Relax. You're acting like someone died." "My future died," she said. Kofi leaned closer. "Not now." "Now," Amara said firmly. Kojo scoffed. "You always overreact. You always disappear when things go wrong." She shot back. "But this time, I'm the one paying." Kofi's voice dropped. "I did what I had to do." "You emptied my account." "For the family," he said. "For Kojo," she corrected. Kojo smirked. "Say thank you. Most sisters would be proud." "Proud of being robbed?" Kofi snapped. "Lower your voice." "You didn't whisper when you signed my money away." Kojo laughed. "You'll get it back when the business grows." "When?" she asked. "Next year? In 5 years? Or after you destroy this too?" His smile tightened. You never believed in me anyway. I believed in my work, she replied. That's why I still had savings while you had excuses. Kofi's face darkened. Everything you have came from this family. And everything I saved came from my own hands. People nearby had gone silent. One investor whispered something to another. Kofi hissed through his teeth. You are ruining this moment. You ruined my life before this moment even started, she said. She turned and walked out as the music resumed awkwardly behind her. The house was already loud when she got home. Her mother sat on the edge of the sofa, crying silently. Kofi paced. You think you're the only one who feels pain in this house? I'm the only one who lost $40,000 today, Amara replied. Kojo leaned against the wall, arms crossed. You'll survive. That money was my escape, she said. You stole it. I needed it. You always need something, she replied. Kofi pointed at her. You think you're better than us because you save and plan? No, Amara said. I think I deserve consent before you rewrite my life. Her mother whispered. Your father was trying to save his son. Amara turned slowly. And I was what? Practice? No one answered. Kojo muttered. You're selfish. She laughed bitterly. Selfish is stealing and calling it family. Silence filled the room. Amara went to her room and pulled out her suitcase. Her hands trembled as she packed clothes she might not need anymore. She had no visa now. No ticket. No money. But staying felt like agreeing with what they had done. If this already has you angry? Subscribe now, because what happens next is where the real damage begins. Amara slept on the floor that night with her suitcase beside her like a guard dog. She didn't lock the door. She wanted them to see she was leaving. Morning came with the sound of shouting. Where is she? Kofi's voice cut through the house. Amara stepped out before her mother could answer. I'm here. Kofi held up his phone. The investors are calling me. And? She asked. They are asking questions. Good. Kojo stormed from the hallway. You embarrassed me yesterday. Do you know what that did to my reputation? You built your reputation with my money, she replied. Kofi stepped closer to her. You have no idea how close this business was to failing before it even started. Amara laughed without humor. Then maybe it should fail. Kojo's eyes flashed. Say that again. You heard me. He moved toward her, voice rising. That money was not just yours anymore. It was never yours, she snapped. Her mother rushed between them. Enough, please. Kojo stepped back, breathing hard. You'll regret this. Regret what? Saving my own life? She asked. Kofi's voice turned cold. You will come to that warehouse today and apologize. Amara shook her head slowly. I won't lie for you. You will, he said, or this family will forget you exist. Then forget me, she replied. Silence followed her words. Kojo scoffed. You think you'll last out there without us? I already did, she answered. She lifted her suitcase and walked past them. Her mother reached for her arm. Amara, wait. Amara stepped away. I already waited 10 years. The door closed behind her. She had nowhere to go. Friends were at work. Acquaintances were busy with their own lives. The money she'd kept aside for emergencies was inside the same account that was now empty. By noon, she sat on the steps of a closed cafe, watching people pass with their bags, their coffee cups, their problems that still belonged to them. Her phone vibrated. Unknown number. She answered anyway. Is this Amara Mensah? A man asked. Yes. This is the legal office of Brandt & Cole. We represent one of the primary investors in Mensah Auto Group. Her throat went dry. Why are you calling me? Because your name appears on several internal documents as a financial contributor. What? You are listed as a silent partner. Amara stood up so fast the world spun. That's impossible. I never signed anything. The documents show authorization from your father using your joint account. Her knees weakened. What does that mean? It means if the business fails or defaults, your assets may be pursued. I have no assets, she whispered. Your credit history is extensive, the man replied. We suggest you seek independent legal counsel immediately. The call ended. Amara stood there shaking, her suitcase tipped on its side. They didn't just take her money. They chained her to their risk. By evening, she was back at the house. Kofi opened the door with a look of surprise that quickly hardened. You came back. I'm not apologizing, she said. An investor's lawyer called me. Kofi's eyes flicked toward the living room. Kojo stood up slowly. What did he say? He said my name is on your documents, she replied. He said I'm a silent partner. Kojo's face shifted. That's just paperwork. That paperwork can destroy my life. Kofi crossed his arms. You are family. You should carry this with us. I never agreed to carry your debts, she said. Kojo's tone sharpened. If you pull out now, everything collapses. You should have thought about that before you stole, she replied. Kofi stepped forward. If this business falls, I lose everything. And I already lost mine, she answered. Kojo moved closer, eyes hard. If you ruin this, I will make sure you never rise again. Amara didn't step back. You already tried. Her mother burst into tears. Why can't you both stop? Why can't you just let this go? Amara turned to her. Because they didn't just hurt me, they trapped me. Kofi's voice lowered. So what do you want? I want my name off everything. That's not possible, Kojo snapped. Then I go to the police, Amara replied. The room went still. Her mother gasped. You wouldn't. I will, Amara said. Kofi's face changed then, not anger. Fear. You would destroy us. You destroyed me first, she replied. That night, Kofi came to her door. He didn't knock. He simply opened it. Amara sat on the edge of the bed, fully dressed. You've always been stubborn, he said quietly. You taught me that, she replied. He sat across from her. If Kojo fails again, he will not survive the shame. Then he should have built something with his own hands, she said. Kofi's voice broke slightly. I did this because I was afraid. Of what? Of burying my son. Amara swallowed. What about burying your daughter's future? Kofi said nothing. After a long pause, he whispered, I will return part of it. Part? She asked. It's already tied up. How much? She pressed. 20,000, he said. Her chest ached. You took 60,000. That was all we needed at the time, he replied. She stood. Return everything or I go to the police. Kojo burst into the room. You will not. Amara turned to him. You don't control me anymore. Kojo pointed at her. You think prison scares me? It should, she replied. Because fraud carries years. Kofi slammed his hand against the wall. Enough. Silence slammed down with it. Amara's phone buzzed again. A message from the lawyer. The investor wants a full accounting tomorrow morning. She looked at both of them. You have until sunrise. She didn't sleep. The house stayed awake with her. Around 3 a.m, raised voices tore through the walls. By dawn, Kojo stumbled into the living room, eyes red, voice cracked. She's really going to do it. Kofi sat in silence. Amara walked out with her bag. Her mother followed her to the door. Please, she begged, don't destroy us. Amara met her eyes. I'm not destroying anything. I'm surviving. She walked away as the sun rose. If you feel the pressure building, stay with this story. What happens next changes every life involved. By the time Amara reached the law office that morning, her hands were cold and steady at the same time. The lawyer, Mr. Henson, didn't waste words. Your father transferred your funds into the business under joint authority. Legally, that part is clean. What isn't clean is listing you as a silent partner without your signature. What does that mean for me? Amara asked. It means you can remove yourself. But doing so will destabilize the entire company. Good, she said quietly. By noon, official letters were sent. By evening, the phone started ringing. First it was her mother. Amara didn't answer. Then it was Kojo. She answered that one. You really went through with it, he said. Yes. You just froze every account, he said. Yes. You just scared every investor, he said. Yes. He laughed bitterly. You always wanted to destroy me. I wanted peace, she replied. You're heartless? No, she said. I'm finished being silent. The line went dead. By the next morning, the warehouse was surrounded by cars that didn't belong to customers. Word had spread fast. The investors demanded emergency meetings. Contracts were reviewed. Loans were suspended. Without Amara's name propping up the documents, the numbers collapsed under scrutiny. By afternoon, the business was officially under investigation. At home, the house felt hollow. Kofi sat at the dining table staring at nothing. Kojo paced. This isn't happening, Kojo muttered. She's bluffing. Kofi didn't answer. A knock came at the door. 2 men in suits stood outside. Mr. Mensah, one said, we need to speak with you regarding suspected financial misrepresentation. Kojo stepped back as they entered. His voice cracked. Dad? What did you do? Kofi closed his eyes. By nightfall, Kojo sat alone in his darkened warehouse. Empty chairs, silent machines, a business that had lived for less than 2 days. He slammed his fist against a desk and screamed. Amara watched the news from a small rented room on the edge of the city. Local business under fraud investigation. She turned the TV off. Her phone rang. Once, twice. She answered on the third. Kofi's voice came through, stripped of strength. They took the documents. Return my money, she said. I can't. Then this stays public, she replied. You would let your brother go to prison? He walked there himself. 3 days later, Kofi stood outside the law office with shaking hands as he signed the final reversal. It wasn't all of it, but it was most of it. Amara watched the funds return one transaction at a time. $10,000, $15,000, $22,000, $11,000. By the time it stopped, she had recovered $58,000. It wasn't her full 10 years of sacrifice, but it was enough to breathe again. Kojo was formally charged with fraud. He didn't look at Amara during the hearing. Kofi aged 10 years in 1 week. Neighbors stopped greeting them. Relatives stopped calling. The family name that once opened doors now shut them. 2 weeks later, Amara stood at the airport again. A different ticket, a different future. Her mother called as she waited at the gate. Are you really leaving without saying goodbye? I already said goodbye when I was ignored, Amara replied. Your father is broken. He broke me first. And Kojo? Her mother whispered. That is his road. Silence filled the call. Then her mother said quietly, I'm sorry. Amara swallowed. I know. The call ended. Months passed. Amara built her life from the pieces they didn't manage to steal. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fast. But for the first time, every decision belonged to her. Every dollar had her name, and only her name on it. One evening, her phone vibrated. A single message from an unknown number. It's Dad. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I was wrong. Amara stared at the screen for a long time. Then she locked her phone. Some apologies arrived too late to be useful. On the other side of the world, Kojo sat behind iron bars learning what consequences felt like without money to soften the fall. Kofi learned what silence felt like without power to fill it, and Amara learned what peace felt like without betrayal breathing beside her. If this story held you to the very end, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Because stories like this remind us that choosing yourself is never wrong, and sometimes survival looks like walking away.